All right, picture this. You're on the moon,
Oh,
just
okay.
chilling, looking back at the Earth,
Nice.
and you're sipping some sake.
Yeah.
But get this. The sake was made on the moon.
Like brewed there.
Yeah, like brewed right there in a lunar distillery. Pretty wild, right?
I mean, it's a little out there, but yeah, I could see it.
So we're going to do a deep dive today
Yeah.
into this story about Japanese sake brewery.
Sake in space. I've heard about this.
Yeah, Asahi Shuzo. They're the ones who make Dasai, if you've heard of that.
Yeah, okay, Dasai. Yeah, I've seen that around.
They're actually planning to ferment sake in space.
Like, for real.
This isn't just some marketing thing. They actually want to see how microgravity changes things up.
Interesting. I mean, what are they thinking? Like, it's going to taste different.
Could be. I mean, who knows? We're talking about messing with the fundamentals of fermentation here.
Yeah, true. You got your yeast, your koji mold, all that stuff.
Yeah, and they're thinking maybe this could even lead to, like, making sake on the moon.
Whoa.
Or even further out, like Mars.
That's a long shot.
It is. But hey, we got to start somewhere, right?
I guess.
So these guys are serious. They're sending ingredients up to the International Space Station.
Oh, wow. No kidding.
Yeah, to the Kibo module.
What's that?
It's like this Japanese-made lab. They use it for microgravity experiments.
Makes sense. I
Yeah.
mean, you need a special place for that kind of research.
Exactly. So this is the real deal.
I'm impressed. Okay, so
Mhm.
they send the stuff up there, and then what? They just brew it like normal?
I don't think it's quite that simple.
Probably not. What with the whole no gravity thing?
Yeah, and speaking of gravity,
Yeah.
you might want to brace yourself for the price tag on this space sake.
Okay. How much are we talking?
100 milliliter bottle
That's like a small bottle.
could set you back a cool 100 million yen.
Wait, you're kidding?
It's over 650,000 US dollars.
For a tiny bottle of sake.
I know, right? It's a lot.
That's insane. Okay, but I gotta ask, like, why so expensive?
I mean, part of it's just the cost of doing business in space.
Yeah, makes sense. Getting stuff up there gotta be pricey.
Exactly. You get your rockets, your fuel, all that jazz.
Plus all the research and development.
Oh, yeah. You got to design special equipment to brew in microgravity.
Yeah. So it's not like they can just use a regular sake pot.
Nope. This is cutting-edge stuff.
So it's not just some gimmick.
No. They're really pushing the boundaries here.
I'm starting to see why they're charging so much.
Yeah. So let's talk about sake itself for a second.
Okay. Back to basics.
What do you know about it?
I know it's Japanese, obviously. It's made from rice. And it's alcoholic.
That's the gist of it.
Yeah.
It's brewed with rice, water yeast, and this special type of mold called koji.
Koji, that's a new one.
It helps break down the starches in the rice and stuff.
Oh, interesting. So it's kind of like a key ingredient.
Yeah, it's pretty important.
Yeah.
The whole process is pretty precise, too. You got to steam the rice, stir it, ferment it.
Sounds complicated.
It is. And it usually takes about 2 months to brew a batch.
2 months. That's a long time.
Yeah. So now imagine throwing microgravity into the mix.
Things are going to get weird.
Right? Like we're talking about an environment where gravity is almost non-existent.
Like on the space station?
Exactly. So how does that affect the brewing process?
So it's like, what happens to the yeast? How does it behave differently?
Yeah. Heat transfer in the liquids might change too.
That could mess with the fermentation.
The whole new ball game.
Yeah.
And that's what Asahi wants to figure out.
It's kind of like a science experiment.
Yeah. But with delicious consequences.
Assuming it works.
Right. There's no guarantee of success here.
That's part of the fun, though, right? Pushing the limits, seeing what's possible.
Exactly. This guy, Soyo Itsuki, he's leading the project at Asahi.
He must be pretty excited.
I bet.
Yeah.
He said that they're going into this knowing that it might not work.
That's brave.
Yeah, they're embracing the unknown.
It's pretty cool.
Reminds me of the early days of space exploration, like when we first went to the moon.
Totally. Like nobody knew what to expect.
And now we're talking about making sake up there.
It's mind-blowing.
It really makes you think about the future. Like,
Yeah.
what else could we be doing in space? Yeah, like what other kinds of food could we be producing?
Exactly. Like imagine fresh produce grown on Mars.
Or like a space vineyard.
No, that would be amazing.
It's all about pushing the boundaries. And speaking of traditions, sake brewing actually got recognized by UNESCO recently
Oh, really? What for?
as part of our intangible cultural heritage.
Wow. That's a big honor.
It is. It's basically saying that sake brewing is an important part of human culture.
Pretty cool. So now we're sending this ancient tradition into space.
It's like a fusion of the old and the new.
It's kind of poetic, like a connection to Earth, even as we're exploring new worlds.
Yeah. And maybe space sake could become a symbol of that connection.
I could see that. Like
Yeah.
a way to bring a piece of home with us as we venture out into the cosmos.
Makes you wonder what else we might take with us.
Yeah. Like what other traditions might evolve in space?
It's exciting to think about. So here's the big question. Would you pay over $600,000 for a sip of space sake?
Whoa. Hold on. That's a lot.
I know. It's a crazy amount of money.
I mean, it would be a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Yeah. It's not every day you get to try something brewed in microgravity.
True, but still, that's a down payment on a house.
Yeah. It's a tough call.
Yeah.
But it does make you think about the value we place on experiences.
Like, what's worth spending our money on?
Exactly. Like, would you rather have a fancy car or a sip of space sake?
It's a good question.
It's all about priorities, I guess.
So when's this launch happening?
Sometime in 2025.
Okay. So we got a little while to wait.
Yeah. But it's definitely something to look forward to. I'll be following this one closely.
Me too. It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be fascinating to see what they discover. I mean, who knows? Maybe space sake will be the drink of the future.
Maybe we'll all be sipping it on the moon someday.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.